What's up guys, Fall Summit Concepts here. Tonight we're going to take a look at a new product from Firebird Electro Optics. If you haven't heard of them, they're an awesome company out of Salt Lake City. They're doing some big things with flashlights, lasers, and rangefinders in the industry. So definitely go check them out if you haven't already. We're going to take a look at one of their newer products, which is releasing soon, the Mini LEP flashlight. A lot of you are familiar with LED flashlights that are currently on the market, but this is LEP, which is laser excited phosphor. It uses a focused laser to excite a phosphor element, which produces a visible white beam with substantially higher candela for a given lumen count. This is going to give you a greater throw, sharper hotspot with less wasted spill compared to equivalent lumen LEDs on the market. Let's take a look at some of the specs on the Mini LEP. So it runs on an 18350 battery with a runtime of about 45 minutes depending on conditions. The light head itself pushes out 103,000 candela. The effective range of this beam is 600 to 1,000 meters depending on your environment and weather conditions. Another feature of the flashlight is the diffuser cap. So on here, you can see I'll screw it off. You've got a diffuser cap. So notice on the diffuser cap, in the middle you've got clear glass and then it's surrounded by some smoked hazy glass. Essentially what this is going to do, it serves a couple purposes. It's going to protect your light head, the glass on your light head, but when you have this diffuser cap, because this beam is so tight, and you'll see when we go outside that there is no spillage, so you get almost no admin like floodlight around it compared to say the Mod Light OKW head. Obviously that has a super tight beam as well, but within 5 yards you're already getting some of that flood coming out of the beam. You'll notice with the Mini LEP you don't have that, so if you want just a small fraction of admin light to come to the ground, you need to go ahead and throw on this diffuser cap, and you'll see this better when we go outside. So what's included in the package? Currently this is set up in the EDC configuration. In that package you're going to get the light head, you're going to get the EDC body with the pocket clip, as well as the end cap, which is a push button on, push button off. Also you're going to get the 18350 battery, and that is what will come with the EDC configuration. You can also get the package in the weapon mounted light configuration, where you're going to get the weapon mounted light body instead of the EDC. Now the cool thing about this body is that it is cross compatible with surefire and Arasaka mounts. So any mounts you already have for the lights you currently own, you can use for the Mini LEP. Another thing that is cross compatible is surefire end caps, as well as the surefire switch tail caps and the unity buttons. So your hot buttons, your accent switches, all of those are going to be cross compatible. Your gas caps, the unity gas cap, all of that is going to work with the Mini LEP. Now with both variants you're going to have the option of getting a charger as well. If you already have flashlights at the house with rechargeable batteries, you may already have a charger, so you can go ahead and select the option that does not include the charger and save some money.
Alright, so we're going to be taking a look at the Firebird Electro Optics Mini LEP with an 18350 battery, and then we're going to be looking at the Mod Light OKW head also with the 18350 battery. So what I did is I just took the Mod Light OKW head and put it on the Firebird weapon mounted body, just so that way we were using the same battery output for both heads to give you guys a good idea comparing apples to apples as far as what these beams look like with an 18350 battery. So the first thing that I noticed was that the beam of the Mini LEP was crazy tight. Obviously some of the other lights on the market like the OKW have a very tight beam for far throw, but it is not even comparable to the Mini LEP when you look at them side by side. You're about to see here in a minute that when we're looking at the Mini LEP, it's almost like that the beam is the diameter of a straw, maybe one of the wider straws out there for some cups, but that's how tight the beam is, versus the OKW head is about the size of a penny, maybe a nickel diameter, so it's significantly tighter with the Mini LEP. Another thing that I don't know if the camera's going to be able to pick up or not, but the flood or the spill from the light head that you get with the OKW, you start to get light on the ground as close as like 5 yards out in front of you. With the mini LEP and with that diffuser cap off, there's almost zero spill onto the ground. It's like a faint, super dim light. It's not much at all. If you wanted a little bit more admin light close to you, you could throw that diffuser cap on there. Again, that diffuser cap's also going to protect your lens, which would be a good thing. But without that diffuser cap on there, there is almost no spill, and it keeps that beam tight all the way out. So let's go ahead and take a look on a sandbag just to see what these beams look like. All right, here you can see we've got the mini LEP. That tree that it's aimed on right there is about 50 yards away. You can see keeping that beam super tight all the way to the tree, not having a bunch of light spill out along the way. All right, keep watching that spot. We're going to go ahead and switch over to the OKW. All right, so now this is the OKW head. Again, still throws a decent bit of light, but look how you start to have light spillage. Even with this flashlight aimed up at that tree, about 10 yards in front of us, you're already having that light spill down to the ground. And you can see the playground here wasn't previously illuminated like it is with the OKW, so that's showing you how much light is spilling out along the way just at 50 yards. So now you can imagine as you start to go to 100 yards, 200 yards, 300 yards, 400 yards, how much more light you're going to have spill out along the way. So the fact that the mini LEP can keep that tighter beam, you're not going to have as much light loss spilling out along the way. Give you guys one more shot at looking at it. Again, this is the Mod Light OKW. And that is the LEP Mini. Again, the lights are sitting right next to each other, aimed at the exact same spot on the tree 50 yards away. And you can just see it is night and day on just how tight that beam is. Give you a good picture here. We'll zoom in on the tree a little bit. Alright, so this is the mini LEP. And that is the Mod Light OKW. So again, it just opens up a good bit. Even at 50 yards, that beam has opened up significantly on the OKW head.
Alright, so that was the mini LEP from Firebird Electro Optics. As you can see, this thing has a crazy amount of power for being sub 5 inches in a compact 18350 setup. Super excited to get this thing on a gun and out to the range to really stretch it out and use it at distance, which is what it's intended for. Super impressed with this light. Again, ready to put it to use and get some more time on it. If you have any questions, go ahead and drop them in the comments or shoot me a message. Go ahead and follow or subscribe depending on where you're watching this. And man, thank you for the support.